We're here at AHIMA 2013 with Sean West, the VP of Data Conversion at HealthPort. And there's a lot of organizations dealing with EHR data conversion, whether through acquisition or some other reason that they're switching EHRs. So when is the right time to really convert the data, and when are there some times maybe that you don't want to go to the effort of converting all the data?
Sure. Well, from a timing perspective, it's best to convert the data in close proximity to the implementation, obviously, so that less work has to be done on the back end as it relates to capturing patient visits that have happened between the time that you chose to convert and the time that you go live with the product. So in that effort, it needs to be well planned, and if a vendor is utilized, there has to be a time frame for completion of that project prior to go live that makes sense and is most efficient for the practice or the facility. But in terms of the right time or the right amount of information to convert, that really can depend upon the specialty and the rate of return of the patients. For example, in some of the specialties, for example orthopedics, they don't have as many repeat patients, and so a lot of times there's less data to convert in that environment than there would be in internal medicine, for example.
And do you recommend archiving the entire EHR record, or say they've had an EHR for 5-10 years, do you want to convert the entire thing, or should they just do a certain amount? Or
yeah, it depends on the approach of the institution. For a lot of people, they view the EMR system as the entire repository for patient care, and if that's the strategic approach that they want to take, then absolutely convert all of that data so that everything's in one place. One issue with that approach is performance, and so a lot of facilities choose to limit the amount of data that they bring forward from an older EMR system to a newer EMR system. This way they can maximize performance. They might put that legacy data in another data warehouse that they can reach back and grab it if they need to, but it's not encumbering the new EMR system.
Interesting. And it seems like there's probably a spectrum of EHR data that you can convert, but what do you think is the most common? Are you able to get all of the EHR data transferred from the legacy EHR system, or what are you finding?
Well, we find that varies a lot based on the vendor, quite frankly, and
the legacy vendor.
The legacy vendor, and whether or not the legacy vendor is participating with their client or former client, however you want to look at that, in terms of getting their data and moving it forward for patient care. Many vendors are trying to hold on to that for dear life and don't really want the client to be able to access the information. So that can actually be a touchy subject, even with two clients who have the same EHR system, just in terms of how the vendor chooses to deal with them and how they set up the database in the beginning.
Sure. So at best case, you can convert everything, I assume, if they're working with you and providing the export. But at the worst case, you can still go in and capture images and some data for them, even if the vendor is fighting against it.
Absolutely. We've been very successful in getting the data that our clients need from their legacy EHR systems. And sometimes that has, as you mentioned, been in a CCD type document that's in a PDF format. Other clients have asked us to pull all the discrete data from the tables, and we've been able to do both of those successfully for our customers.
Excellent. Thanks.
Thank you.